So in the last session, we saw these two new names, no? Savikalpaka Jivaha and Nirvikalpaka Brahma. We should not say Nirvikalpaka Jiva. Okay, so the Jiva is the individual who is, doing the Buddhi Vikalpas, who's having, and who is caught up in the Savikalpas. So, I am Savikalpaka Jiva is, right now my understanding is, I am a Jiva. You can say you are a happy, contented Jiva or a miserable Samsari. Choice is yours. Okay? Because the Prarabdha brings a fair share of Sukham Dukham to everybody, is it not? But you have to ask yourself, for whom is the Sukham and Dukham? For the Savikalpaka Jiva. Yeah, for the body and mind. But then right now I am identified with the Kshetram. So it is for the identified person. The Jiva, Sukham, Dukham is there. Isn't it? And if I am no more identified with the Kshetram, then Sukham, Dukham will affect the Upadhi, but I am free from Sukham and Dukham. So that is what we are seeing. Savikalpaka Jiva I am, this Jiva or Bodha Abhasaha. Whereas Brahma, really, the Jiva is Brahma. Now we have to keep that vision in mind always. No? Jiva Ishvara Aikya Jnanam is what is being unfolded. No? That is talked about here. Really, the Savikalpaka Jivaha is Nirvikalpaka Brahma Syat. Then, how does one understand Aham Brahma iti? Vakyena. Here it is Aham Brahmasmi Vakyena. See, with Vakya, I told you Vakya means sentence. So, the sentence is referring to Mahavakya. Yeah? Mahavakya means it will be very contradictory at the face of it. No? It will be very overwhelming. How can you telling Jiva, Savikalpaka Jiva is Ishvara? How is it even possible? Very difficult to swallow. Why? Because our Jiva Buddhi is so strong. And the whole purpose of Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasnam is meant to thin down the Jiva Buddhi and to thicken, make more entrenched which idea? I am Brahma. So here I am going to tell you a couple of stories which you definitely would have heard of it. Important Vedantic stories. They have been heard many times, The sheep lion. Who has not heard of it? Sheep lion story? No? Okay, then I will tell you. Once upon a time, there was a lioness, and the lioness had a cub. This is a famous story of Ramakrishna. Most of these Maharishis, Ramana, Ramakrishna, through their parables and stories, they illustrate an important tattvam. And everybody likes to hear stories, no? So, there is a story of the lioness and the cub when they're moving through the jungle, and then they get separated. Separated in the darkness of the jungle, and then the cub is lost, and it is very sad. And then suddenly there is a flock of sheep, and this is also a kutti lion cub. And then the flock of sheep, the mother and the father there, they take pity on this cub, and then they take it to the flock and they raise it as their own child. Animals often do this. Abandoned birds and animals are taken by others. So beautiful to see that, no? They take care, that motherly instinct will be there. So this cub grows up in the family of sheep. Then what will it think? It will think it is a sheep, right? Because it is in the sheep environment. So it will even eat grass, I think. The cow. Bleat also, I am a sheep, So this cub, joins the sheep flock and then, just behaves like a sheep, eats grass, and they are grazing on the ground and so on. Until one day, what happens? A passerby lion comes. The lion comes and sees this very strange phenomenon. This baby lion which is now a youth lion, youthful lion, is enjoying with the sheep and just mingling with it. Well, something is wrong there, I have to check. Then the lion goes close to the sheep, and then what happens? All the sheep vanish. They disappear. Even this cub, thinking it's a sheep, tries to escape, but the passerby lion catches hold of it. And then he says, the little cub says, don't eat me, I'm only a sheep. Then the passerby lion says, why do you think I will eat you? Then the cub says, because lions eat sheep. You're carnivorous, No, you idiot, you are not a sheep. No, I'm a sheep, and it's bleating, And then the passerby lion takes it to a lake. And both of them look into the water. Then he says, look, you are not a sheep, you are a lion. Just like me. We both look like lions, right? Then he looks up outside the reflection. Yes, you're a lion, and so am I. So you are not a sheep, you are a lion. And the passerby lion is the guru who says, Tat Tvam Asi. You are not the Savikalpaka Jivaha, you are Nirvikalpaka Brahma. So the orientation, our entrenched notions are so strong that just like the baby lion thought it was a sheep, ignorant of its nature, ignorance of its being a lion, took it itself to be a sheep. So too, we are all thinking we are just mortal jivas. I was born in this date. My life will be over. We don't know when. It's in Bhagwan's hands. And this is all life is all about. But the Shastra wants to awaken us to our true nature. That is the story of the lion and the cow. Now, so this 16th is about these two new terms, Savikalpa and Nirvikalpa. Then Savikalpaka with Yaha Aham Brahma Ekam Nirvikalpakam. So when will this realization come? That I am that. It will come only when the mind is sattvic and calm. Only in a calm mind will the realization come that I am other than the body and the mind. Just like the lake surface is clear, reflection will be clear. If it is turbid and shaking, then it will not be clear. So that 14th verse was all about that. Vikalpaha nirodhavyaha prayatnataha. So by abhyasa, Krishna has said, abhyasena tu vairagyena cha manaha grihyate. The mind should be mastered by two practices. One is constant abhyasa. Abhyasa is not once or twice. When we finished the long-term course, Swamiji said, now only your study begins as we go out. You think you've learnt all the Upanishads, Prasthanatrayam over. No. Because that capsule has to be assimilated in the midst of activity. That is the question, That Naishkarmyam or, Shuddha Bodha has to be discovered amidst the roles and the intensity of life. Okay? And so when the mind is calm, then that Shuddha Bodha awareness will be more, will be very, very strong. That's what we saw in the 14th one. Okay? Now, for the jnanis like Ramana Maharishi or Ramakrishna, we know that this is the last Janma. They are Siddha Purushas. Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sadurlabha Mahatma. Such a Durlabha. So such a Mahatma as a jnani it's very rare to find. Because their minds are so sattvic and the vision is Sarvam Vasudevaha Iti, which is the same as Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. So they see only Shuddha Bodha in everyone. In an ant, in a mosquito, in all the people. They don't see the dimensions, who's dark and fair and, profession-wise also. You know that story about how Ramakrishna Paramahansa would have satsangas, no? And the great Ramakrishna would be immersed in samadhi. Then there will be all kinds of people in the satsanga. And there was a prostitute there also. Now, by some good samskara, punya, she wanted satsanga with the Mahatma. Then all the other devotees are so upset. This is not the place for her. Why she should come here? And then later on, one devotee approached the great Mahatma, Ramakrishna, and said, why do you allow all this? It will defile the environment. He said, who are you talking about? I am only saying Shuddha Bodha. Everything is pure and as it should be, Shuddha Bodha. So the Mahatmas will not mind even thieves being in an ashram. Swami Shivananda would allow that. He would say there is a greater chance of the reformation inside the ashram than outside. Yeah? But their vision is so pure that they can only see that Atma Tattva. The rest is all Anatma, coming and going bodies. Yeah? So here we see that is the stage of Samadhi or the total Jnanam, which is dear to Jnanis. Samadhi Jnaninam Priyaha. And because Sarva Nirodhaha Shakyaha Chet. It was possible, they have mastered the body, impulses and thought processes in the mind, they perfectly mastered it. So they are enjoying the state of Samadhi. Then next line is Tat Ashaktau Shanam Rudva Shraddheya Brahmatatmanaha. But if that is not possible at that high level, then you do in stages. Slowly you prioritize your life and you reduce the vrittis, make the mind more sattvic. Yeah? And then even here and there, you practice the Brahma Abhyasa. How will you do that? Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasana. So Shravanam is the Shastra Tatparya. What we are doing now is Shravanam. And Shravanam is to listen first. Approach the Guru and listen to what the Shastra wants to convey. And now in this camp it is Laghu Vakya Vrutti. Shravanam of Laghu Vakya Vrutti. But then it has to be followed by Mananam. Manana means when you go home or after these sessions, we do Mananam. How can Savikalpaka Jiva be Brahma? Yeah? Then you reflect on the examples and the drishtantas and what they're pointing to. And that is called Mananam. Thinking again and again over it. Yeah? So not just blindly swallowing the statements. But then finally what happens is, even if I've done Shravanam and Mananam, okay, fine, I'm convinced now that Aham Brahma Asmi. Yeah? But I don't experience it. That means I'm not enjoying the Jnana Phalam. That's where Nididhyasanam comes into play. Meditation. Yeah? So it is like, if you come into let's say your own home, we open the door and then just switch on the light, right? Without even looking. Why? Because we know the switch is on the right. Now supposing you rewired your whole house and it's on the left, you will still come and you will do this, right? That is called Viparita Bhavana. Viparita Bhavana means the old orientation of identification with the vrittis, with the bodies, will persist even after the knowledge has been gained. And that is why we have to do Nididhyasana. Yeah? Nididhyasana is Vedantic contemplation. Aham Brahmasmi. You reflect on a verse, yeah, and the meaning of it. Reflecting on the meaning. How does the Shastra say that I am Ajaha, Amrityu, I was never born, I am not going to die? How? That is called Nididhyasana. So that we have to enforce. All this is called Brahma Abhyasa. Now for an advanced seeker, even Shravanam will be Mananam and Nididhyasanam, because they are so Uttamadhikaris that even listening to Shastra will be like a meditation. They don't separately need to do that. But most people will have to do all the three stages still they have this clear understanding of Shuddha Bodha. Okay, that is told here. Now, if you are not in Sahaja Samadhi, then Kshanam Rudhva, try for 5 minutes initially meditation, then increase to 10 and so on. Next one, 16th we'll take up. Shraddhalur brahmatam swasya चिन्तयेत् बुद्धिवृत्तिभिः श्रद्धालुर्ब्रह्मतां स्वस्य चिन्तयेत् बुद्धिवृत्तिभिः वाक्यवृत्त्या यथाशक्ति ज्ञात्वा ह्यभ्यस्यतां सदा वाक्यवृत्त्या यथाशक्ति ज्ञात्वा ह्यभ्यस्यतां सदा together श्रद्धालुर्ब्रह्मतां स्वस्य वाक्यवृत्त्या यथाशक्ति ज्ञात्वा ह्यभ्यस्यतां सदा. This is highlighting the Shraddha factor. No, Shraddha is one of the most important of the Shatka Sampatti, which we saw earlier. No? Shraddha means Guru Vakyeshu Shastreshu Astikya Buddhi or Satya Buddhi. Yeah? That means I have an open, trusting mind and I'm open to what the Shastra is saying and the Guru is conveying. Yeah? Now, if we have a mind that questions all the time, how can this be there? How can this be there? Then the Shastra cannot penetrate into you. No? If we do have, I don't understand this, this is too esoteric, too abstract, fine, that's allowed. But put it in a pending box. Okay, later on you will understand. Okay, depending on the adhikaritvam. That's the idea. So here, Shraddhaluhu Brahmatam Swasya Chintaye. So Shraddhaluhu is the one endowed with Shraddha. The Gita we have seen, no? Shraddhavan Labhate Jnanam. In fact, it's the most important. Even if educationally we are not qualified or we are not rich or whatever, if you have Shraddha, that is going to open the mind to deeper and deeper and subtle states. So many countless stories, no, of devotees with Shraddha. They have attained the supreme heights of Samadhi. So, Shraddhaluhu Brahmatam Swasya. Swasya Brahmata means my nature, one's nature as Brahma. May the Shraddhaluhu Chintayet. May one contemplate. That's one sentence there. Shraddhaluhu Swasya Brahmatam Chintayet. May one contemplate on the fact that I am Nirvikalpaka Brahma or Shuddha Bodha. How will one do that? Buddhi Vrittibihi. Buddhi Vrittibihi means with a mastered mind. Yeah? Chintayet is, should or may one. So, Buddhi. See, the Buddhi is defined in Tattva Bodha as Nischayatmika Buddhi. No? Remember in the Ratha Kalpana, the body is compared to a Ratha. I can't see Niharika and Jayanti. Body is compared to the Ratha. And the horses are sense organs. The 5 Jnanendriyani. Manas reins. Buddhi chariot. Yeah. And who is seated in the chariot? Jiva. Very good. Full marks. Savikalpakaha Jivaha or Bodha Abhasa is the one who is enjoying the ride. By enjoying means exhausting Papa Punyam. Body is going places like the Ratha. Ratha is pulled by horses. So the body is pulled by Sense organs. Yeah. Along with the mind. No, mind are the reins. So the mind is giving, what is that called? Leverage. Giving freedom. The mind can give freedom to the Jnanendriyani if it is loose, the reins. But if it is tight, then they will be mastered, the horses. No? Then the charioteer is buddhi. Right? So the buddhi is like the parent which has to control the manas child. Yeah? So here buddhi vrittivihi means that the buddhi is has to say, okay, the mind, now this vritti, is it necessary? Is it not? Pluck it out, Okay, let this come in. It's like a security guard, at the gate. So the buddhi is a very, very important faculty which has to do the viveka.
In the third chapter, mind is superior to sense.
Yes.
Superior.
Yes. And what is superior to the buddhi? Saha, it comes there. Atma. Correct. Yeah. So there is a gradation, we saw gradation of subtlety in the third chapter Gita. No? That is outermost gross is the body, then the outermost is the sense object, Shabda Sparsha, then the sense organs are subtler, because they give reality to the sense objects. Then the mind is subtler than the Jnanendriyani. Then the manas, the superior to manas is buddhi, and superior to buddhi is atma, and that is bodhisara. So, by having a very sattvic, intelligent buddhi, here see the intelligence does not mean educationally intelligent. Shraddha is very important. Shraddha and also sattvic. That is buddhi vrittibihi. Then vakya vrittya yatha shakti jnatva hi abhyasyatam sada. Vakya vritya means by this Mahavakya yatha shakti. As is the capacity. So you can do a little bit for one kshanam, go ahead. Then if you can do longer, you do that. Yatha shakti. As per your role, your stage of life. Yatha shakti vakya vritya jnatva. Having understood, abhyasyatam sada. May one continuously practice these teachings. So it is like that example, Swamiji would give the example of, what is that? Rasagulla. The rasagulla has to be dipped in the syrup. Another example he would give is the pickles. Pickles are dipped in oil. Only then it will be tasty. So we have to dip our mind and immerse it in these teachings and keep it immersed also. Because again when we come out, the mind will get dirty. Dirty means the malam enters the mind. Whenever there is vyavahara, there is malam, no? When I feel guilty or angry or sad, this is malam of the mind. And why is that? Because I have raga dveshas. I had expectations, I want this, I don't want that. I am disappointed, I did that, I am guilty, I did not do that. All this malam is there. So the buddhi is the most important treasure. That's why Brihadaranyaka says, Atmanam aviditva yaha asmat lokat praiti saha kripanaha. Which means the one who has not applied the buddhi to the highest purpose in life, which is moksha purushartha, is a kripanaha, miser. Why? Because Upanishad says Bhagavan has endowed us with the buddhi, which is the greatest treasure, wealth. And just as a miser will keep the treasure locked, he won't even use it on himself because that insecurity is there. So the one who has not applied the buddhi to assimilate the Mahavakya is a kripanaha. And if one does not realize it, asmat lokat praiti, before the time is up for us. There is one Brihadaranyaka mantra. Okay. So abhyasyatam sada. Make one constantly, may one be aware. So in other words, have a nice routine. Okay. And that is explained in the next next shloka, which is very, very important, oft quoted. Tachintanam tatkathanam tatparaspara bodhanam tachintanam tatkathanam tatparaspara bodhanam etadekaparatvam cha ब्रह्माभ्यासं विदुर्बुधाः एतदेकपरत्वं च ब्रह्माभ्यासं विदुर्बुधाः together तच्चिन्तनं तत् चिन्तनं तत् कथनं तत् परस्पर बोधनम् एतत् एकपरत्वं च ब्रह्म अभ्यासं विदुः बुधाः. Sandhi is there. So here is a suggestion or a upadesha on how to do this Brahma Abhyasa. We cannot be in an ashram all our life, right? Other than Srinivas, he is lucky to be here. So we have to convert our homes to ashram. Have a routine there, no? If you can have an ashram like routine in the home, nothing like it. Start with the puja, meditation, some shravanam, mananam, nidhyastam, some tea and coffee in between. Then have your family members satsanga. You can do a different satsanga, arati and prayers, and conclude for the day. Go into Sushupti. So here, Acharya is saying, no, these Buddhaha, the wise people, what do? Buddhaha or Viduhu, the ones who know, they are constantly doing Brahma Abhyasam. Yeah? Brahma Abhyasam means dwelling on this topic only, this topic. And how do they do that? Tat Chintanam. Tat is referring to Bodha, yes. Bodha or Brahma or Chitihi or all this, no? Shuddha Bodha. Tat. And we know Tat from Gita also, no? Tat Padam. Tat Padam is the middle Shatkam. Ishvara. Yeah? Now the word Ishvara will not come in Upanishads and yes. So here it is Tat Chintanam. So may one constantly do Chintanam, contemplate on Tat Brahma. Then Tat Kathanam. Kathanam means you talk about it also. No, you share about it, talk about it, and then Tat Paraspara Bodhanam. And you discuss amongst yourself. We all do a lot of forwards, no? And WhatsApp and all that. Even this we can do here and there. Something if you do, maybe some person is going through a state in life and they may need just to listen to that, some important thing, and it can open up some samskara. So instead of wasting time, Acharya says, in gossiping, talking about a third person who is not present, about irrelevant things in life, save your energy, save your time, and do this. Tat Kathanam, Tat Chintanam, Tat Paraspara Bodhanam. Yeah. In this way, then what will happen? Etad eka paratvam cha. This alone, etad eka. This topic alone will be foremost. Paratvam, occupy your mind. And this is Brahma Abhyasa that the Viduhu, the wise Buddhaha, talk about. So say the wise. No? Viduhu means they say, the wise people. So meditating upon that, talking upon that, and mutually also enlightening, with your friends. And of course, you can't do this with everybody. Brahma. Same wavelength, frequency. And that's why, as Hema was saying, we are a family here. And Hema was saying earlier, people in the family may think you're mad. It's correct. Yeah. Because the wavelength is not matching, no? And even, somebody else was telling me, Niharika or somebody, that, oh, I have to go to this marriage. It's so boring, So this thoughts can come to our mind, But you have to weigh the pros and cons, In your stage of life, whether Swamiji would say, as a grahastha, you can't say no to functions. You have to be available. Yeah? But internally, you can do your own Brahma Abhyasa. Just on the surface, you show as though you're interested. But really, if you go on doing this, calling people and WhatsApping, and then you're busy on social media, there will be no chintanam, no kathanam, no paraspara bodhanam. So limit this social media and all that for 1 hour per day. And definitely don't open it in the morning. Yeah. The first thing is, we take the phone. First thing, including me also. But then I send some good messages in the groups, in our student groups. We should not do until breakfast, I think. So, this is the advice. How to do Brahma Abhyasa is, get together. This is the reason we have camps. Yeah? We have camps in the ashram so that you will have a break. Isn't it a good break, especially for mothers who have to cook? Here the bell rings, tea, coffee, lunch, dinner is there. Yeah? So then you get a break from your usual, sometimes monotonous routines will be there, chores at home. And then you realize that, they are there, they'll be handled. Yeah, but then you immerse yourself in this Tat Kathanam, Tat Chintanam, Paraspara Bodhanam for a few days. So next time you have to extend it to 1 week. And then Vanaprasthas can come for 1 month. Yeah. And one girl in our long-term course, she was very apprehensive to join the 3-year course. And then she asked Swamiji, she said, Swamiji, everybody will have fears, no? You have to leave your country, your family, your job. And some people can easily give up. People wound up their homes and cars in US, and young people told bye, and the parents are accusing each other. Then they're asking, it's because of you that they are taking this extreme step. They cannot understand the urge for this knowledge of young people. They feel it should come only after retirement. So then they ask the children, okay, you want to go to Anekadi. What for? Will you get a job after you do the course? And, you will not get married. Then Swamiji said, yeah, they may get married here. They may meet somebody nice, And don't worry, I will get them married. Swamiji would give so many such promises to people, Nee kavalapadadama, en kaiyila ellam uttidu. Na paathukuren. And even my parents, imagine I came after 40 or 42. Then my parents also did not want me to leave. As it is, I'm unmarried. They said, then Swamiji told, Padika Uduma, you let her stay here and study. Don't force her to be in Hyderabad. And then I got the full anugraham. So this girl from Russia, she was afraid of joining the long-term course. She said, Swamiji, will it bring about changes? Will I change after the course? She was so, anxious. Swamiji said, no, you will remain the same. That means what? Shuddha Bodhaha will be Shuddha Bodhaha. And, but in the long-term course, like 3 years, a lot of changes happen, There's a whole reshuffling of your priorities and mind. So the people who take this step, are those with very strong samskaras from the past or who are very courageous. So people who can afford to do that, they should do that. Yeah? Couples also came. There were at least 4 or 5 couples without children. They could afford to come. No children means no duties. And like that. There was one couple, the husband, they had children. Husband joined the course. The initial 3 months, and then he wanted to continue to 3 years, but the wife was very anxious. She didn't want him to continue. And then when they both came and did namaskara, Puja Swamiji sensed the anxiety of the lady. And he told the husband, sorry, I cannot accept you as a student. You have to go back to your family. So Swamiji will be very sensitive to the home situation, family situation, and allow only those who are ready for this knowledge and who have no encumbrances, no limiting factors. So that also is, is to be seen.